Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Brewing with Magic. Well, if you're seeing this early enough, don't forget we are going live at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time today for the first time ever on YouTube to give away the Strixhaven set booster box. And if it's after the time I give it away, I hope you won it. I hope it was you. So, what are we doing today, Will? I'm so excited!
Oh man, we get to look at some new cards. The Adventures in the Forgotten Realms D&D set. They're starting to do some spoilers.
Now, I know there's some people out there that are absolutely against this kind of crossover, and I get it if you're a Magic purist. I've been playing Magic just as long as the next guy, and I feel like this is an amazing addition. They've owned the title already. It's a super fun title, Dungeons & Dragons. Magic to me felt like a card versions of Dungeons & Dragons. I think this is wonderful. What do you think?
I 100% agree. I loved D&D when I was a kid. You know, I did the whole role-playing thing. You know, when card games became more popular, I jumped right in to do it. And honestly, I think it's a great crossover, to be honest. Like, it'd be different if they were like, they were talking about Space Marines, right? They're talking about using machine guns and all this other kind of stuff. But I feel like this fits the format a little bit more. So I'm really excited to see how this plays out.
Hey, and if you love Dungeons & Dragons and you love Magic the Gathering, then you, like me, are a nerd. Not even remotely dorky. Not even. So let's get into these cards, and I will stop with the horrible jokes. So first up we have Prosperous Innkeeper. And if you know me well enough, and you've been watching the channel long enough, you know that I barely got that out of my mouth. So this card is 1 green, 1 colorless. It is a Halfling Citizen. Okay. I don't know if I missed a lot of Magic. Is Citizen a new? I'm pretty sure Halflings have existed, right? But is Citizen?
Halfling's always been around. Citizen just means, hey, a person ready to help you.
Okay. Well, this is a 1/1 for 2, so it better do something really good. When Prosperous Innkeeper enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Then it has more text. It says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Okay.
I mean, this isn't bad. It's a pretty good, pays almost for itself, but in return, any creature moving forward, you're gaining life. I'm sure it's going to go well with some of the cards we currently have, especially in green and white. So being able to gain some life, maybe getting +1/+1 counters or things along those lines, other attributes, but getting that treasure is very helpful because that also ramps you. So, maybe puts you on task.
Yeah, it's one of those cards where when I look at it, I go, it's okay. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But every time I see one of these treasure token cards in action, it's absolutely, phenomenal for the opponent and bad for me. That extra mana just is usually detrimental in some way. But one thing I want to point out and talk about real quick is, so this is, to me, signaling we are going to be getting more treasure cards.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. We're going to Dungeons & Dragons. They just showed us dragons in the previous set with Strixhaven. They gave us a bunch of treasures then. So I think we're kind of going into a little bit of a treasure-centric style set here. That's just a guess. So next we have Portable Hole. I'm just going to giggle. 1 white mana, and I'm not even going to say what that looks like. Okay, this is out of control, this card, and I think they were having fun with it. It's an artifact. When Portable Hole enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value 2 or less until Portable Hole leaves the battlefield. Now, I absolutely think that this card is going to see play in sideboards. Maybe 2 counts. Yeah.
Well, the reason I like this card specifically is because it's an artifact. So it means it's sticking around, it's staying on the board. The other thing too, it might help you try to accommodate another task. Again, at the end of the day, if you want to go red, blue, white, and maybe play the Galazreth Primari, you now have the ability to also tap this as an artifact to create mana. So not only can you, maybe slow down your opponent if you're playing against like mono red, mono white, you're exiling their target for right now, but then now you're also ramping yourself as well, or you're just using it as a quick removal. So either way, I think it's going to see a lot of play, especially if you're playing against rush decks. So if you're playing best of 3, I agree. I think this is going to be one of those cards that you kind of push in and push out to make your deck a little bit more manageable in white.
No, you didn't. Anyways, I love that. I love the way you described that. You definitely got to put. Anyways, so I love this card because it's not dead against control. So because it's not a creature. So if you're playing control and they throw that Maze Mind Tome down, boom, get it. Wolf Willow Haven, boom, got it. If they're playing mono red, give me that Robber of the Rich. If they're playing mono white, I'll take that Luminarch Aspirant, please. Get that out of here. So I think this card sees a lot of stuff that Glass Casket doesn't see, even though, because it's kind of like feels like that realm to me. So I don't know. I like this card. I definitely think it'll see play. Prosperous Innkeeper, maybe not as much. Let's move on to Vorpal Sword. So it's 1 black. Is this going to be the giggle set? We're going to just love these words. Let me see if I can make him giggle again. Vorpal Sword.
That's good.
It's an artifact equipment, and it is equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has Death Touch. Okay. It equips for 2. So basically it's a 3 cast. I mean, not really. You could throw it turn 1. On turn 2, you could equip it to nothing. It's a little expensive, but I have a feeling it's for a control deck, right, Will? Let's see. What does this do? It's 5 colors, 3 black. Until end of turn, Vorpal Sword gains whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player. That player loses the game.
Yeah. And honestly, like, that's what caught my eye. And I love these kind of cards. You know, they're those come out of nowhere cards. Everyone's like, you know, am I really going to play it? Probably not. Most people might not actually play this card. But I think it'd be great in a control deck, like, say, mono black. And say you drop it on turn 1, just sits there. You're doing all your other mono black stuff, you know, maybe messing with the board, killing some stuff. And then eventually you'll get to a point where you have enough mana and you can, I don't know, activate a land. And when the land activates, you know, maybe you can equip it, or, you know, maybe you have a 1/1 creature or something along those lines. You're able to do something. And I don't know how yet, but I want to get a win with this sword just to say I killed you with a Vorpal Sword.
Well, I almost guarantee you there will be a Vorpal Sword deck in our future, so...
Yeah, it just looks fun. To one-shot a player always makes me laugh.
Now, I just don't know about in a control shell where you're using a land, though. I think it can happen, but that's 14 land. You gotta have 13, 8 for this, 2 to equip it, 3 to fire up the Faceless Haven, and the Faceless Haven itself. So, whew, okay. I mean, I guess, no, once it's attacking, you could actually use the Faceless Haven. No, I take that back, because the Faceless Haven, so it's 13 mana. 13 mana.
Still a lot.
Still a lot.
But, I mean,
still a lot. Now it's doable. 14 mana, no. 13, let's do this. Now we've got a card. So, well, let's go ahead and move on to a really cool named card, in my opinion. Power Word Kill. I love it. 1 black, 1 colorless. It's an instant. I'm already excited. Do something good. Destroy target non-angel, non-demon, non-devil, non-dragon. So many nons. And it says non-dragon. That's... I was gonna accept angel, but there's so many angels, demon. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what other creature types they start bringing into the game. So, I mean, maybe it'll be, you know, one of those cards that hits a certain type that other cards can't. I don't know. But, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, when you have a lot of nons, it really does make it restrictive. So why not run some of the common spells that we're currently seeing right now in the format? So it makes it a little bit more difficult. But, I mean, man, if you're a D&D player, to play Power Word Kill feels so good. So, you know, throw that into Magic just for that, like, flair. I mean, why the hell not?
And you gotta love the people who come up with these cards. I mean, hey, let's put out a set called Dungeons and Dragons, and then let's put a removal card that can't kill dragons. Hey! And somebody was like, that sounds good. Well, let's do that. Come on, guys. Come on. Anyway, so the last card that they spoiled as of us recording this is going to be Tiamat. And I do believe that that is a creature that's been around before. I think I know the name. So let's see what it does. It costs Woobrig +2. So it is a 7 casting cost legendary creature dragon god. It is a god. We're already thinking of some shenanigans with a certain land. So it is a 7/7 flyer. When Tiamat enters the battlefield, if you cast it, so no cheaters out there, okay? If you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat that each have different names. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Well, other than, I don't know, there's maybe two of them right now. Other than those 2, I'm sure we're going to get some new dragons. So what do you think? What do you think?
I think this card's going to be
Commander.
Really fun. And yeah, definitely a commander card. And that's what I was thinking about right off the bat. I go, this is going to be a fun commander card because there's a lot of really cool dragons that you can get into and, you know, kind of like go into that aspect. But even if we're just playing in standard, and I think in standard, this card can be super strong. I know it's going to be 7. So, you know, you're going to have to ramp to it. It is Wooburg, so you're going to have a lot of other cards that you can play in the deck that you can kind of get to. But I mean, like, if you're playing in a Sikia deck, or if you're playing, like, you know, Into the World Tree, or things along those lines to kind of, like, somehow other way cheat this card into play. You're not going to get the value of it getting those 5 dragons, but it's still a 7/7 with flying, and that's good enough. But still, if you're able to put this on the board and actually cast it, you know, and you're building a dragon-centric deck, man, I think it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out and what other cards they come out in this format that help make dragons easier to cast. That's what I'm really interested in seeing.
Right, I'm excited. Now, maybe I'm just out of my mind, but I have my first reaction with this card is, what if you put this in a Shrines deck, but you play 2 of this, 1 of 5 different dragons, you hope you don't draw them, and they're just like plan B in a Shrines deck. Am I out of my mind?
I mean, it could be possible. I mean, anything with 5 colors, I think you can just manipulate a lot of different formats.
As long as there's like 7 cards that we can take out and still keep it a Shrines deck, put in 5 of these dragons, 2 of these, and if you hit it, you hit it. Kind of sounds like it's probably jank. Well, hopefully everybody, you enjoyed this. Will, thank you for being with me as always. It's really fun to get to review cards with you. If you enjoyed what we've doing, please like this video, leave a comment down below letting us know if we're doing things right, if we're doing things wrong. Subscribe to the channel. It's super trivial for you, but man, does it mean a whole lot to us. It really helps build the channel. And as always, until next time, Will,
have a blast in the arena.